Hi, I'm Barry Callen, columnist for In Business Magazine, and this is the BS-free Marketing Zone. And today we're going to teach you a game called Yes and Story that you can use to unleash the creativity of your employees. I get paid lots of money to travel all over the country and teach serious corporations really fun improv comedy games. Why do they do it? Because business today needs to be able to improvise. The 5-year plan only works in the Soviet Union, and even there it doesn't work. What works in American business is to constantly adjust to the latest changes. You may have a competitor from a completely different technology or from a completely different business sector. You may get bought out, the economics of your business may change, and knowledge obsoletes every 7 years. You need to improvise. This game teaches your employees how to do it. You can use it as a warm-up exercise, you can use it in retreats, you can even use it in the car with your kids. Here's how it works. Each person creates a whole story, one sentence at a time. Each sentence must start with yes, and then each sentence must build on what the previous person said. And then there are some no-nos. No arguing. Once upon a time there's a blue rhinoceros. No, it wasn't really a blue rhinoceros, it was a spider. That's arguing. And no fake arguing. Once upon a time there was a blue rhinoceros. Yes, but what kind of rhinoceros was it? Boom, the action stops dead. Nobody's adding any ideas. And finally, don't sit there and judge your ideas before you throw them out. Just build on it, just throw them out. That's the kind of mindset that will enable you to generate a lot of ideas. And there will come a time when you and your team are up against a terrible problem in which all the traditional solutions don't work, and it's the 11th hour. That's the time to pull out Yes and Story. Love and Charlotte are going to show you how this game is played. Once upon a time, there was a rock with wings.
And this rock,
yes,
it
and
flew.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Yes, and this rock, it flew so high that no one could see it anymore.
Yes, and it developed an inferiority complex because it felt like it was invisible.
Yes, and the invisible flying rock went to a psychiatrist to deal with its inferiority complex.
Yes, and the psychiatrist asked him to talk about his mother.
Yes, and the rock started talking about its mother, who was a mountain.
Yes, and the mountain towered over the rock, frightened the rock.
Yes, and therefore you can really understand about this whole inferiority complex thing. I mean, it's a mountain.
Yes, and so the rock ended up taking rock Prozac.
Yes, and the rock grew and grew and grew until it towered over its mother.
But it was still really calm because of the Prozac.
The end. So this kind of silly game can also be used to talk about very serious topics like product development. Notice that the base of the game, the base of all group creativity, is to say yes to the ideas of others uncritically, not judging them, not asking questions, and adding your own idea to that. That's the essence of how ideas get quickly generated. Yes, and. Yes, and. And in the story you just saw, we had amazing ideas crop up. A mother mountain, a therapist couch. I guarantee you that no single person in that brainstorm would have ever thought of that entire story. And that's the beauty of group creativity. It can always beat the genius who comes down from the mountain like Moses with the answer. So, improvise beats planning a lot of times. Use Yes and Story as a game to teach your employees how to be creative as a group. And I wish you a BS-free day. This is Barry Callen, your In Business columnist. Thanks a lot.